Most people don't realize this, but they're being controlled every single day by emotions, by other people, by fear, guilt, or pressure. They react without thinking. They get manipulated without knowing. And worst of all, they let others decide how they feel. But Stoicism teaches something different. It teaches you how to become calm but powerful, silent but unshakable, and disciplined enough to never be anyone's puppet. When you live by Stoic habits, you don't just survive the world, you dominate it, with peace in your mind and power in your hands. In this video, I'm going to share 5 brutal Stoic habits that will make you mentally stronger than 99% of people. These are not feel-good tips. They're raw, real, and once you start using them, no one will ever be able to control or manipulate you again. If you're ready to stop being used and start becoming powerful, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's turn your mind into a weapon. 1. You stop explaining yourself. Most people feel the need to constantly explain themselves. Why they did something, why they didn't do something, why they said no, or why they changed their mind. But here's the hard truth. Constantly explaining yourself is a sign of self-doubt. You're trying to earn approval from people who probably don't even fully understand your path. A Stoic doesn't live like that. A Stoic makes choices based on reason, inner peace, and self-respect. And once the decision is made, they don't look back and they don't try to convince others to agree with them. When you feel the urge to explain everything, it's often because deep down, you're afraid of being misunderstood or judged. But here's the thing, people will judge you no matter what. Whether you're silent or loud, successful or struggling, someone will always have something to say. So why waste your energy trying to please everyone? A Stoic knows that peace comes when you stop caring about being liked by everyone and start focusing on being true to yourself. When you stop explaining yourself, something powerful happens. Your confidence grows. You begin to trust your own decisions more. You learn to stand by your actions, not because others support you, but because you've thought deeply, made your choice, and accepted the outcome. This kind of inner strength scares manipulators. They can't guilt trip you. They can't confuse you. They can't control you. Why? Because you're not depending on their approval in the first place. People often expect you to justify your boundaries. They want you to explain why you didn't say yes, why you need space, or why you've changed. But a Stoic draws the line without guilt. You don't owe anyone an emotional explanation for choosing peace over chaos. You don't have to prove that your decision was fair or logical to them. If it brings you mental clarity and keeps you aligned with your values, that's more than enough. Silence becomes your strength. You start to understand that not every question deserves an answer, and not every opinion needs a reaction. When you stop talking so much about your moves, people become curious, even intimidated. You no longer give them the chance to poke holes in your reasoning or try to shift your perspective. You move in silence, and that's what makes your presence powerful. This doesn't mean you become rude or cold. It means you become selective. You speak when it matters. You explain when it's truly necessary, but you no longer hand out explanations like apologies. Instead, you start to build quiet confidence. You don't say, "I'm sorry, I just needed some time alone." You say, "I needed time," and leave it at that. And suddenly, people begin to take you seriously. Not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. You're not here to live your life according to their expectations. You're here to live with clarity, strength, and purpose. People may talk, they may judge, but they can't control a person who no longer needs their approval. And that's what makes you truly powerful. So the next time you feel pressured to explain yourself, pause, ask yourself, do I really need to say this? If not, stay silent. Let your discipline speak. Let your boundaries speak. Let your life speak. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself to everyone is the moment you take full control of your life. 2. You control your emotions, especially when it hurts. Controlling your emotions, especially when you're in pain, is one of the hardest things a person can ever do. Most people explode, break down, or lash out the moment things go wrong. But the Stoic, he stands still. He feels everything but reacts to nothing without reason. This doesn't mean he's numb or heartless. It means he's strong enough to carry the storm inside him without letting it destroy what's outside. That kind of emotional control is rare and dangerous to those who try to manipulate or provoke you. When you're able to stay calm in the face of betrayal, heartbreak, or deep disappointment, people don't know how to deal with you. They expect a reaction. They expect anger, tears, or weakness. But when you give them silence and focus instead, it confuses them. It shows them that your mind is not under their control. Your peace cannot be stolen by their actions. In a world where everyone is quick to react, your ability to pause, breathe, and remain centered gives you incredible power. Pain is real. Stoics don't deny that. But instead of letting pain control them, they use it as fuel. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they say, "What can I learn from this?" They choose not to be victims of emotion, but masters of response. And when you learn to do this, something inside you shifts. You stop fearing pain because you know you can handle it. You stop being afraid of chaos because you carry order within. Think about the last time someone hurt you. Maybe they lied to you. Maybe they walked away when you needed them. Maybe life broke your heart in a way you never saw coming. Now imagine having the mental strength to feel that pain deeply, but not letting it make you bitter, reckless, or self-destructive. That's not weakness. That's not being passive. That's warrior-level discipline. You're not suppressing the emotion, you're mastering it. This habit doesn't just protect your peace, it protects your reputation. When you react emotionally, people remember your outbursts, not your pain. But when you handle pain with strength and grace, people remember your discipline. They respect you more. And those who once tried to play games with your emotions will think twice, because they know they no longer have access to your buttons. Most emotional outbursts don't help you. They hurt you. You lose control. You say things you don't mean. You damage relationships, break trust, or give people power over you. But when you pause, when you take a moment to sit with your feelings instead of letting them explode, you stay in control. You turn what could have been a breakdown into a breakthrough. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you never feel. It means you no longer let feelings make your decisions for you. You learn to act from principle, not pressure, from clarity, not chaos. And the more you practice this, the more powerful you become. Not because life stops hurting, but because pain no longer owns you. So the next time life hits you where it hurts, don't react, respond. Don't explode, observe. And don't collapse, breathe. Your calm is your power. Your silence is your weapon. And your ability to stay grounded, even when everything around you is falling apart, is what will set you apart from the rest. 3. You become impossible to guilt trip. Guilt is one of the oldest tools of manipulation. People use it to control your decisions, your emotions, and your time. They twist your kindness. They weaponize your empathy. And before you realize it, you're doing things you don't want to do, just to keep someone else happy. But here's what the Stoic understands deeply. Guilt only works when you allow it to. When you live in truth and you know your intentions are pure, guilt loses all its power. A Stoic doesn't live to please others. He doesn't break his own boundaries just to avoid conflict. He doesn't say yes while dying inside just to avoid disappointing someone. He lives in alignment with his values, and that means sometimes saying no with zero apology. And when people try to make him feel guilty for choosing peace, growth, or self-respect, he doesn't bend. He doesn't justify. He doesn't explain. He simply holds the line. You have to understand that guilt is often projected, not deserved. People who are unhappy with themselves want you to feel bad for not saving them. People who refuse to take responsibility for their life will blame you for walking away. But their feelings are not your burden to carry. Stoicism teaches that you are only responsible for your own actions, not for how others choose to react to them. That shift in mindset is life-changing. When you free yourself from guilt, something incredible happens. You start living more honestly. You no longer fake agreement. You no longer force connections. You don't overextend yourself or stay in situations just because you feel bad. You stop choosing guilt over your own well-being. And the moment you stop feeding guilt, it dies. Manipulators lose their grip. Emotional blackmail loses its bite, and you become free. It doesn't mean you become cold or selfish. It means you start recognizing the difference between real accountability and emotional manipulation. If you've hurt someone, you own it. You make it right. But if someone's just angry that you've grown, moved on, or refused to play by their rules, that's not your guilt to hold. That's their insecurity showing. And a Stoic doesn't carry what isn't his. People will say things like, "You've changed," "You're being selfish," or "You used to be different." That's their attempt to pull you back into the old version of yourself that they could control. But the Stoic replies with silence, not defense, with calm, not apology. And that strength makes guilt trippers powerless. Because nothing frustrates a manipulator more than a person who refuses to feel guilty for evolving. Every time you stand firm, you teach people how to treat you. You show them you're no longer emotionally available for guilt games, that you don't owe anyone your energy just because they want it, and that your peace matters more than someone else's comfort. That's not cruelty, that's self-respect, and the world needs more of it. So remember this, you don't have to feel bad for putting yourself first. You don't have to apologize for protecting your peace. And you definitely don't have to carry guilt for making the kind of choices that are leading you to become the strongest, most disciplined version of yourself. That's not selfish, that's Stoic, and it's powerful. 4. You don't seek revenge, you outgrow people. Revenge might feel satisfying in the moment, but in the long run, it poisons your mind and keeps you chained to the pain someone caused you. Stoics understand this deeply. They know that true strength doesn't come from trying to hurt someone back. It comes from healing yourself so deeply that their actions no longer matter. You don't stoop to their level. You rise above it. You don't match their disrespect. You outgrow it. That's what makes you powerful. When someone betrays you, uses you, or disrespects you, the natural instinct is to fight back, to prove a point, to show them they messed with the wrong person. But the truth is, by doing that, you're still giving them power. You're reacting to them. You're allowing their actions to control your emotions. Stoicism teaches you to reclaim that control, to master yourself so fully that their behavior becomes irrelevant to your growth. Outgrowing people is not about arrogance, it's about elevation. You realize that the energy you would have spent plotting revenge is far better used building your future. You start focusing on your peace, your purpose, your evolution. And slowly you notice something. The people who hurt you begin to fade into the distance, not because you forced them out, but because you simply stopped walking in their direction. What truly hurts toxic people is not your anger, it's your indifference. They feed off your attention, your reactions, your emotional outbursts. But when you go silent, when you no longer care, when you level up so far they can't even reach you, that's revenge without revenge. That's real power. You didn't have to fight, you just had to rise. Stoics don't keep score, they keep moving forward. They don't waste time thinking about getting even. They're too focused on getting better. Every setback becomes fuel, every betrayal becomes a lesson, and every loss becomes redirection. You outgrow the need to prove your worth. You stop needing closure. You stop needing to be understood by those who were never meant to walk your path. Outgrowing someone doesn't mean you hate them. It means you no longer lower your standards to keep them in your life. It means you finally choose peace over chaos, wisdom over emotion, and discipline over drama. Some people will notice your growth and feel inspired. Others will feel threatened and try to drag you back down. But when you're rooted in your values, nothing they say or do can shake you. The person who once made you cry, doubt yourself, or lose sleep, one day you'll look back and feel nothing, not because they didn't hurt you, but because you've healed beyond recognition. That's the quiet revenge, the life you built in peace while they stayed stuck in chaos. You didn't scream, you didn't fight, you just outgrew them. So if someone wrongs you, don't ask, how can I make them regret it? Ask instead, how can I become so powerful, peaceful, and focused that they can't even disturb me? That shift is everything. And that's the Stoic way. No drama, no vengeance, just growth so deep it becomes untouchable. 5. You train yourself to be alone. In a world filled with constant noise, social media, and a relentless pressure to always be surrounded by people, learning to be alone is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. The Stoic understands that true peace and strength come from within, and you cannot rely on external distractions or validation to find it. Being comfortable with your own company doesn't mean you're lonely. It means you've mastered the art of solitude. When you can be alone and still feel whole, you've unlocked a level of freedom that most people will never know. Loneliness is often seen as a negative thing. Society has conditioned us to believe that we need others to complete us, to feel validated, or to feel loved. But the Stoic sees loneliness differently. It's not a curse, it's an opportunity. When you learn to be comfortable alone, you start to uncover who you really are, what you truly want, and what matters most to you. You no longer seek approval, companionship, or comfort from the outside world. You become your own source of peace, your own strength, and your own support system. Being alone doesn't mean isolating yourself or cutting off everyone from your life. It means finding comfort in your own presence. It's the ability to sit with your thoughts without running away from them, to face your fears, insecurities, and desires head-on without needing someone else to distract or pacify you. Stoicism teaches that when you master solitude, you become untouchable. No one can break your peace because you've already learned how to find it in the quiet moments. It's in those quiet moments that growth happens. When you're alone, you have the space to reflect, to improve, and to become stronger. Most people avoid solitude because it forces them to confront themselves. They distract themselves with people, social events, and constant chatter because they don't want to face the discomfort that comes with being alone. But the Stoic knows that discomfort is where the magic happens. It's where you evolve, where you learn, and where you prepare for the challenges ahead. When you're comfortable being alone, you stop relying on others for happiness or fulfillment. You stop searching for external validation, approval, or attention. You realize that you are enough just as you are. You develop resilience. You become more independent. And most importantly, you stop being afraid of what's inside of you. The less you depend on others, the more powerful you become. You stand firm in your own identity, no longer swayed by the opinions or needs of others. People who are constantly seeking validation, attention, or company are easily manipulated. Their sense of self-worth is dependent on others, which makes them vulnerable to being controlled. But when you train yourself to be alone, you stop giving away your power. You no longer seek to please or appease others just to feel accepted. Your validation comes from within. Your peace comes from within. And that's what makes you indestructible. Solitude doesn't have to mean being lonely. It means being at peace with yourself. It means knowing that your value doesn't come from who you're surrounded by, but from who you are at your core. It's in those moments alone that you learn to love yourself, to trust yourself, and to become the person you were always meant to be. And when you master being alone, you'll realize that no one, no situation, can ever take away your peace or your power. So train yourself to be alone, not out of fear, but out of strength. Don't run from solitude, embrace it, because in those quiet moments, you'll find clarity, power, and the freedom to be the best version of yourself. And once you've learned how to stand alone, you'll be unstoppable. Conclusion. These 5 Stoic habits are not just lessons. They are life-changing practices that can completely transform how you approach the world. By mastering them, you take back control over your emotions, relationships, and the way others influence you. You stop reacting to life, and you start creating your own path, one filled with strength, peace, and unshakable confidence. Remember, power doesn't come from manipulating others or seeking revenge. True power comes from mastering yourself. When you stop explaining, stop seeking approval, stop getting guilt-tripped, and stop fearing being alone, you unlock a force within you that is impossible to break. You don't just survive the challenges life throws at you, you thrive in them. If you want to become someone no one can manipulate, someone who stands strong in their values and knows their worth, it's time to start practicing these Stoic habits. Every step you take towards mastering yourself is a step toward becoming the most powerful version of you. Are you ready to level up and become dangerously powerful? Start today. Practice these Stoic habits daily, and watch how your life changes. Don't wait for tomorrow. Take action now and begin your journey towards inner strength and unstoppable power.